Greetings, YouTube. Today we're going to take a look at a flashlight that has been sent to me by the Doctors Without Borders. We have donated to them in the past, and they sent this out and with a gift in it in the hopes that I would want to donate again, I guess. I don't know if we're going to or not. I have to talk to the wife about that, but it's worth it. I haven't looked in here, obviously. We have not opened the package up. Zoop. Almost perfect draw on that one. So we're going to reach into the container. Got a nice cardboard insert to help facilitate this thing getting into its location. And we're looking at a classic. Okay, how do I get this thing to work? Aha! Here we go. Wow, it's actually relatively bright. Kind of shocked. I didn't expect it to be quite that bright. Let's give it a check. And it has got a standard pen insert in here because it is a pen as well as as a um, a flashlight. So we have the pen here, which clicks into here like that. So now you have a relatively usable pen, though without that, it's still quite functional, though it is, obviously considerably smaller. Now, how do I change can the batteries be changed, first of all? That's an excellent question. I don't think the batteries can be changed. No, I don't. No, I don't think they can be, which is a bit of a pity. But in the meantime, it's relatively bright. Pretty straightforward. The big disadvantage is that when you're putting the the flashlight goes on, pushing up. So potentially, if you're putting into a pocket and you were to put it in there with enough force, you like to catch on a piece of fabric, you could potentially turn it on. And whether you notice or not could mean that you may not actually have a flashlight when you need it next. But this is very reminiscent of the type of flashlight a doctor would use to see if somebody's do they have are they dilating, that kind of thing. So now one of my eyes is slightly blind. Um, but that's what this is kind of reminds me of. I'm not a huge fan of flashlights, of pens that require two hands. My preferred pen to carry is the um, Zebra F701, which is an all metal bodied pen that goes click click. Though, unfortunately, because I have now have arthritis, this is not a fun emotion. Just doing this with no pressure is uncomfortable, so I tend to do it like that, or I boom boom before I have to use it, because that is not a comfortable thing for me to do anymore. It also has decided. It's also changed the kind of knife I carry, because now I want to carry a flipper that is a button lock. This is the least painful way for me to deploy and close a knife, is a flipper that I can use this finger with at a button lock, dunk, and it just and I can just have it fall closed. So yeah, arthritis sucks. But this little pen, and flashlight is kind of cool. I'm not saying it's going to convince me to give more money to Doctors Without Borders, but it is something that some people would find useful. And I mean, I collect flashlights. I will probably find useful for this at some point, but I have many other flashlight options that are more complex than this. Ones that maybe can I? Yeah, I can see way down in there that it's definitely using a stack of button uh, batteries. So yeah, it's very likely it's not worth my time to try to replace those, because frequently I've been in my experience that if you two were to buy the stack, you can buy them pre-stacked. They come in a little stack wrapped in plastics. They are easier to put in. The cost of one of those stacks is going to be more than the cost of this device. It's not worth your time. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that's going to end up getting tossed, which isn't great for the waste stream, I admit. But might be the kind of thing you hand to a kid and say, here, here's you hear yourself, have a pen, have a flashlight, and they'll be amused by it for a few days, and then they'll forget about it. and then you won't have to worry about it. You just throw it away when the pen gets dry, and you won't feel guilty. So yeah, this has been my Doctors Without Borders free flashlight and or pen, and I think that's kind of cute. Kind of, it's functional. It doesn't do anything you don't necessarily need it to do. It is nothing that all that exciting as far as designs, but I like the fact that it is on off. Sometimes you don't need to over explain a plate of beans.